Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. I hope you all are doing fantastic. I I hope you're having a better morning than mine. This is how my morning has gone. I literally played the entire theme song and realized I didn't hit the go live button. So I sat here listening to the song by myself and then realized, like, oh, wait, I didn't hit the go live button. That's been the morning I'm having. So hopefully your morning is a lot better than mine. Thank you guys so much for being here. Haven't spoken to you in a few days, so I hope you're well. Last night I was like, oh, I could do a live today, and then I got home late, and then it was way too late. So I was like, well, I have the day free today, and we can chat, and it's not late, and people aren't falling asleep, and our squatties in the UK aren't yelling at me for having a podcast that late at night. So there we go. But how are you all? I hope well. Our faves, I'm telling you, I thought we were, I don't know, not beyond these photos, but it came back and it's like I'm just happy to see them again. I was like, yes, our favorite photo, at least my favorite photos anyway. So yeah. But yeah, so anyways, and before I start, let me just say hello to all my friends in the chat. Church Nelly, oh my goodness, you guys, Church Nelly went ahead. She was the first person here. She's usually one of the first people. Our awesome moderator went ahead and posted all of these incredible links to everything you need in for the podcast, everything you need for our faves, their website, archetypes. I mean, anything, any link that you need, pretty much is in the chat right now. And so thank you so much, Church Nelly, your awesome moderator. And I'm like, I so appreciate this. I mean, look at this. Everything is there. And so a couple more we'll give today, and I'll post it in the chat. I'm sorry, not the chat, but in our community page later, and with Invictus. But we'll get there in a few minutes. So thank you so much, Church Nelly, for posting all of these links. I appreciate it. And our awesome moderator, Karen M, is here as well. Hello, Karen M. How are you doing? Raffaella, hanging out with us from Rome. Hello, Raffaella. And today, Church Nelly is 20 months. I'm telling you, 20 months flew by, man. Thank you so much. And you've been supporting way longer than 20 months, but 20 months as part of the Two Cents Crew. And I appreciate your support, both just being here and moderating, and also just financially supporting the channel every month. And I appreciate that. And all of our awesome Two Cents Crew who support the chat. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, support the podcast. What am I saying? Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. Black Queen, our awesome moderators. Moderators are here. So happy to see you. I hadn't seen you in the last couple of episodes. I'm not sure. I don't think so. So I am happy you're here. Nalo Thandu hanging out with us from South Africa. Hello, Nalo Thandu. Who else is here? Disorganized crafter. Ooh, I like that. I'm a crafter. Yeah, I think I'm disorganized too. So okay, I could totally relate to that. But yes, I'm totally a crafter. So yeah. Hello, Connie Bomber, hanging out with us from Switzerland. Hi, how are you? Emma Day is here. Hello, Emma Day and Gloria C and Little Mac. Hi, guys. You never know who's going to be hanging out with us, because it's the middle of the day. People have lives doing things. So you just never know. So I am just happy. Oh, H Knight, hello. How are you? And I think I said Little Matt before. So V Thomas is here. Hello, V Thomas. H Knight is here. So happy to see you guys. JSC. Oh, welcome. How are you? Did I see you before? I don't remember, but I'm happy you're here. And Marcia is here. Hello, Marcia. Mixie Martin is here. Hello. How are you? Yeah, I think I saw someone who, I think it was Church Nelly, that said I was having a Baron moment. Did the Baron have those moments too? For some reason, I didn't realize that with me playing the whole theme song and not pressing. and not pressing the go live button. Yeah, having one of those days, Church Nelly, having one of those days. You know, it happens. You get older in life and you're like, wait a minute. Things ain't working like they used to work. So there you go. But anyways, welcome everyone. But again, back to these amazing photos. Polo Lifestyle. Guess who are our cover stars for Polo Lifestyle magazine? And of course, I mean, how gorgeous is that photo? The Duke and Duchess of Sussex sparkle. Of course, they sparkle in Palm Beach at Sentebale polo match. Of course, of course, of course. They brought the sparkle, the glamour, the whole bit. I'm telling you. Oh, wait, we're 9,000? I didn't even know that. Thank you. I had no idea. Thank you, Maggie Margaret. See, what would I do without this community? I didn't realize we reached 9,000. So there you go. I got to go look at it later and celebrate. Thank you so much. That's like me on my birthday. Like my mom is usually like, Petal, it's your birthday coming up. And I'm like, oh, yeah. There are things that mine doesn't gravitate to. So thank you so much. For all of you who subscribe, we're at 9,000. Thank you, Maggie Margaret, for telling me. I appreciate it. But back to our faves. Yep, man, they are, I mean, gosh, we all can't get over those photos. And of course, we know that photo that they use for the magazine is from this iconic we are rich, we should have a helicopter in the background there photo with the two bodyguards all looking fly. I mean, oh my goodness, I still can't get over how amazing this photo is. And of course, they use it. I mean, everybody rocking the sunglasses. I mean, everything about this photo is just iconic. I don't remember the photographer's name is, but dude, you should have photo of the year for this one. This is like 2024's rain photo for me. Until, maybe in Nigeria, they'll come up with another iconic one. Hopefully, Misan is going. Fingers crossed, Misan is going to be there. I'm like, that's his home country. Well, he's Nigerian. So I think he's born in the UK, but, family from Nigeria. So it's like, perfect. That would be so amazing. Absolutely amazing. But, I mean, we can't get over this. And more from Polo magazine. This is what this is a letter from the editor, Josh Jablowitz. And so he went into this whole thing about, I guess, his day before going to the polo match, and he had to go to Trader Joe's to get all the stuff. And then he went home and tried to do his hair. This whole letter meanders all over the place. And it's just, I guess, his crazy day that he was sharing with people. And then he tried to comb his hair, and he tried to do a middle part thing, and it didn't quite work out. And so I'm going to read just the end of it and how this relates to our fave. But in the meantime, I'm just going to move our little brand there so that I can read it. And it's one of those crazy things. It says, anyway, I bought my filet from Trader Joe's, where you went to. I brought my filet and broccolini and came home and went to my bathroom and shook out my hair and parted it down the middle. I gasped because I looked like Wednesday Addams' blonde cousin. It was horrifying. I tried again, thinking that maybe the trick was to part it and tie it back. Nope. Then, out of the blue, the Duchess of Sussex showed up in Wellington for polo, rocking a middle part and somehow not looking like Wednesday Addams at all. Our cover story, the Duke and Duchess at Sentebale. And the cover photo features Duchess' strong middle part prominently. And I wish more people were talking about it. That's all. I mean, this whole thing went meanders all over the place, but it's just funny that, his whole thing was like he tries to do a middle part in his hair and it didn't work out. He looked like Wednesday Addams, which I like Wednesday. So, hey, I don't mind Wednesday. But Meghan always does that middle part thing. and she always looks fantastic. And so I think he's getting a little bit jealous because Meghan, can rock her middle part and also rock it amazingly and doesn't look like Wednesday. Again, I love Wednesday, so even if Meghan looked like Wednesday, I wouldn't mind at all. I like Wednesday. I think she's cool, goth and cool. I like a little bit of goth, so yeah. Maybe he should have rocked. Well, yeah, look at his face. I can see how he has that Wednesday family kind of look. But you never know. There are people into goth. He should have rocked it. He would have been twinsies with Meghan. So there you go. Anyways, these are some more photos from the magazine, of course. We talked about Harry on a horse. Hello. I don't know how he does it. He always just looks so amazing on a horse. It is just so, and we saw a lot of these photos before as well. And of course, hello, Meghan and Serena. And I realized, Church Nelly, much to my chagrin, I forgot you. I'm just realizing, I forgot to include Nacho. How could I do Polo and then forget to include Nacho? I am so sorry, Church Nelly. I will seriously make it up to you. Seriously making up to you. So there. But it is amazing. And Disorganized Crafter says, I don't think Polo has gotten this much attention in the US before. LOL, HM phenomenal. And also, they're doing that documentary on Polo, which Nacho said he hopes does the same for Polo as whatever documentary that was done for Formula One racing. So, yeah, they're going to have a lot more. And I think it's also going to feature, these two brothers. They are Black brothers who are in Polo. And I think it's going to also be featuring them, too. So, talk about getting the Black community into Polo and all that stuff. I'm not into horses. I only care when Harry and Nacho are doing it. So there. Apart from that, I don't really care. But there I am today. Really sorry, Church Nelly. I am so sorry. How could I do this to you? I swear I will make it up to you. I'm making another. I did one before, but I will make another special video just with Nacho for you. I promise. Sorry. So sorry. And I had a photo and I don't know what I did. And I took it out and I guess I forgot to put it back in. So sorry. But it's just cool. Again, just these photos alone. you can't, this is just star quality. You can't fight this stuff. So kudos to Harry and Meghan. Of course, I've been dining out on these photos and just being excited about them. But the whole thing was for Sentebale. They raised a lot of money. And I don't know yet for the auction how much they made. So hopefully that brought in a lot of money as well. I forgot to check. I just thought about it. I totally forgot about it. And I think it closed a little while ago, maybe a week ago or so, or a few days ago, I think. But I forgot to check to see how much that brought in. But hopefully it's a lot so Sentebale could have the kind of programs they want to have and do the things they really want to do with the kids in Lesotho and Botswana. So, hey, great cause, looking fabulous doing it. Harry and Meghan literally are the working royals. The others they do some stuff, but Harry and Meghan are the working royals. So there you go. I love that photo with Meghan and Serena. It's just like girls having a glass of champagne or whatever it is they're drinking, and just stunning. And along with that, more great news. We all remember Carly Fortune. Carly Fortune wrote this book, Meet Me at the Lake, which I read. I hope you guys have read it. It's cute. It's like it's sort of a teenage into young adult romance. For me, it reads more teenage, but again, I'm older, so everything younger like me probably reads as teenage, and it's cute. And so Archwell has optioned it, and they are turning it obviously into a movie. And so Carly had an interview with Toronto Live, and this is some of what she had to say. I'm just going to move my banner here. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe. Be our 9,001 person subscribing to the channel. So anyways, so it's a pretty long interview, but Of course, I'm only interested in the part where she talks about Harry and Meghan. Sorry, Carly. I'm sure all the things you have to say is great. I'm going to go back and read the full article, but I didn't have a lot of time. And honestly, I really was. This part was the one that I was really zoning in on. So there. So this is what she said about "Meet Me at the Lake" being optioned by Archwell. She says, the article says Archwell Productions, run by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, is producing "Meet Me at the Lake" for Netflix. Did that come as a shock? Then this is one of the questions they were asking her. And she said, I would sob uncontrollably watching one of my books come to life on screen, but that's not the reason I write. The rights to books get snapped up all the time, and in many cases the book never make it to the screen. It's the nature of development and Hollywood. So I've taken the screen stuff as icing on the cake. Still, I have confidence in Archwell and Netflix, and I'm thrilled with how things are progressing. It's very exciting. And another question they asked her is like, what was it like speaking with royalty? Which is like such a weird question to ask people, but yeah. And then she says, I had several meetings about selling the rights, including with the team at Netflix and with Meghan and producer Tracy Ryerson at Archwell. They're mostly relaxed, creative conversations, but they're also an opportunity to get a vibrate, to figure out whether we have a shared vision and whether everyone likes each other. Meghan and Tracy are brilliant, and they understood exactly what I was trying to accomplish with the book. We gabbed for ages. In other words, we were creatively in sync. Then I had a lovely call with Meghan and Harry on the evening the deal closed. I can't play it cool. This was surreal. So things are going well. She's excited. She loves, how it's progressing. As she says, with a lot of these things, people snap up books all the time and never make it because for whatever reason, producing it is tough. It is tough business to adapt a book and to get it from script to screen. It is tough. And so she's very excited about it. She loves Harry and Meghan. She loves the time they made. So kudos for this, that at least we get a little bit of update about the book before, those on the other side of the pond will start be like, what is going on with that deal? Oh, she kicked Meghan to the curb. So Carly just updated it herself. So now we know what's going on with that. So very, very cool. Lottie says, Meet Me at the Lake reminds me of Harry and Meghan on the first night they met. Yeah, right? It totally does. It totally does. Let's see. Who else is talking about? Oh, LMC Lifestyle says, bye everyone. Just back from Nigeria to Belgium for my senior sister. Oh no. Funeral. I have to sleep. Did not sleep on the flight. Oh my goodness. My condolences to you and your family. I'm so sorry. When I saw Nigeria, I was getting excited until I read a little bit further and to understand that it is for sad reasons. And so, my goodness, please do go get some sleep. I can imagine it was very challenging situation. So definitely go get some sleep. But thank you for, chiming, or at least logging on and letting us know what's going on. So definitely we'll be praying for you and your family. So boy, I'm telling you, real life catches up with us no what is going on in the world. So yeah. Disorganized Crafter says, I read the book and I liked it. I can't wait for the movie. It'll be good if done right with right actors. Very true. Very, very true. It really needs strong actors. And I mean, it would be very exciting. And again, for me, it reads more like a teen romance, So, and Meghan love romance. It's her thing. That's like romantic comedy thing. It's totally her thing. So yeah. Let's see what else you guys are saying in here before I move on. H9 says, what charities are everyone giving to for Archie and Lily's B-Day? There are a couple of things. I mean, I don't know what everyone else in the chat is doing, but I know there are a couple of things on X, and I did not focus in on it, that people are planning for his birthday. And so what I'll do next podcast, I'll actually just post it on our community page as well. So check out the community page. I'll post a lot of stuff in there about Invictus Games and about whatever is going to be happening for Archie's birthday. So yeah. What else? So yeah. And if you guys are, if there's something that you guys are donating to, maybe share it also here so other people might be interested. And again, as with everything, do due diligence. Go check out the charity before you give. Make sure that you're okay with that charity before giving you money. So yeah. And Cinderella wants to know if she's wondering if Serena got jam. I would assume, or maybe Meghan is just sending it out, a little bit at a time and sort of spacing it out. So, what I mean? Apparently they are, or maybe they're finished now with filming. So maybe she is, sending out a little at a time until they're ready to show the world what she's doing. So who knows? So I don't know. I would assume either she has it or maybe she will. So there you go. So what else is happening in the world of our faves beside Carly? World Central Kitchen, along with the fact that they resumed their food delivery and stuff in Gaza, which is amazing. We know what happened about a month ago when Israel bombed their convoy, killing 7 of their team members. They stopped for quite a while. From that time, they stopped until now, and it's only a couple of days ago that they resumed their work in. When they got bombed, they were working in northern Gaza, which basically it's starvation there right now. But they have resumed. I think they are back at the Egyptian border in Rafah, which is more southern, and so they've resumed. And so a part of World Central Kitchen is that Chef Andreas and others have written a cookbook, and the proceeds obviously going to World Central Kitchen and to which basically they feed the world. And so they were just honored. It says they posted this. It says, we are honored to share that the World Central Kitchen cookbook is a James Beard Award nominee in the international category alongside talented authors. The heartfelt recipes from contributors are a testament to the power of food to bring people together. And apparently James Beard Award is a big deal in the food industry. And so the cookbook was is a James Beard Award, Foundation Award nominee. And one of the people who contributed to that cookbook is our fave Meghan. As we remember, Michelle Obama is also one of the contributors. She contributed her breakfast tacos. Meghan contributed, her recipe was lemon olive oil cake. And so as one of our wonderful squaddies who posted this, and I forgot to put who it was, that posted it online and highlighted it. Thank you. Lemon oil cake from Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, and along with a bunch of other people who graciously gave their recipes to the book. And so this is Meghan's recipe here, the lemon olive oil cake. And I think some squaddies actually tried making it. And so I'm assuming it's delicious. So this is actually back in 2023. Archwell posted about about the cookbook. It says, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, contributes recipe to the World Central Kitchen cookbook, Feeding Humanity, Feeding Hope. And this is part of I think these are the World Central Kitchen team out here was in Chicago, I think they were. And so it says, this weekend, longtime friend and partner of the Archwell Foundation chef Jose Andreas announced the upcoming release of the World Central Kitchen Cookbook, Feeding Humanity, Feeding Hope. The cookbook is a captivating collection of stories and recipes from renowned chef, local cooks, and friends of the global nonprofit, which feeds communities impacted by natural disasters and humanitarian crisis. All authors' proceeds support World Central Kitchen's emergency response effort, and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, is proud to have contributed a recipe. And that's the lemon olive cake there. So there you go. Meghan's contribution. So Meghan is part of that award. So congratulations to everyone. From the James, were nominated for the James Beard Foundation Award. So very, very, very exciting. I'm like, everything Harry and Meghan touches just wins, it just wins. Yes. TMCD said, I'm so appreciative of World Central Kitchen. They do amazing work. I mean, with all the stuff that goes on, they do amazing, amazing work feeding people out there in the midst of everything. It's crazy. And that they are just out there and, just with all the stuff going on, they just want to make sure that people are fed. And V says, World Central Kitchen are phenomenal. Yes, they are. And those partners who are there working with them, whether local community or fly in, as a lot of them do from all over the world to work with World Central Kitchen. It's an amazing, amazing gift they are to the world. So Church Nelly has the link there. Thank you, Church Nelly. So if you're interested in supporting World Central Kitchen in any way, definitely go over there, read up about them. And if you're interested in, and you have the means to, definitely go ahead and support them. So it's a wonderful, wonderful organization. I remember us as a squad did a whole fundraiser for them. I think it was last year that we did a fundraiser for them. So it's really, 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 they are truly phenomenal. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So what else is happening? Invictus, we know that the ceremony, the anniversary is coming up. They are going to have the service of Thanksgiving next week on the 8th. And so they are in full celebration mode. They have a whole ton of things coming up. I'm going to be posting so you're gonna get sick of me with these links in our community page, but I'm going to be posting a whole lot of links in the community page because I know a lot of people don't have access or don't have. Some people just not on social media. Some people use certain social media, but they're not on X. And so they don't see this. And some people just don't go to the website. If you want, just go to the Invictus Games Foundation website. I'll also put the link in our community page so you can have it. But if on your own, definitely just go to the website if you don't use social media. But I'm going to put the links to all of this stuff that I'm going to be talking about because they're doing a whole bunch of stuff and they are just, they even posted like, I hope you guys love us because you're going to probably get sick of us because we're going to be posting a lot of stuff, but they are in full celebration mode. And so they have changed their logo and now their logo is I Am 10, which is the 10-year anniversary, and I Am Here. And so those, and I think it's that song, I am here, da-na-na, this is me. And for some reason, I have a feeling that that song is probably why that I am here there. And I think that song was played. I think I could be wrong, but if I remember at Dusseldorf, they had kids singing that song. And so a beautiful song. And so I Am 10 is their new logo, as you can see at the top there. That's their avatar over there. And so it says the theme of our 10-year anniversary is I am 10 and I am here. So those are the hashtags we're going to be using on social media with anything Invictus Games Foundation. It says the Invictus Games Foundation in the coming months will be celebrating and the incredible individuals who have used sports or adventurous challenges to heal and celebrate that they are still with us and that they are here. And that is so important because we know, especially at The Hague, they did this survey and a lot of a lot of the participants at the Hague, when the Invictus Games at the Hague, that's one of the things that a lot of them said if it wasn't for the Invictus Games, they would not be here today. And it is so important that the games, how important the games are today, because it's the reason why they are still here. Because we know with serving in the military comes with PTSD and all of the challenges that veterans face because of, their time in battle. And so they are here, and that is so important to them. And so one of the things that's going to be happening, and I'll put a link to it, is I'll just read it. It says, in the lead up to our 10-year anniversary on May 8th, we are going to be looking back at where it all began, London 2014. Learn more about the historic and iconic debut of the Invictus Games. So I'm going to post a link to this. They have a whole thing with photos and all of that stuff. Basically the history of the Invictus Games going back to 2014. And so beautiful photos and all of that stuff. So we can, for a lot of us who weren't paying attention back then, again, I didn't really know anything about this until, Meghan came around, and I really wasn't paying attention until basically baby Archie, when Meghan was pregnant with baby Archie, and baby shower. That's when I started really paying attention. So all of this stuff I had no idea about. And so for me, it's just all of it is learning the history of the Invictus Game. So I'm going to put a link to this that you are able to see it. Also with that, says Invictus Games Foundation is proud to present The Summit Within, a first of its kind short film focusing on the transformative healing process that takes place on Invictus Adventures. With thanks to sponsors Level Peaks and producers Blackmain Media, May 16th on YouTube. So they have a channel, Invictus Foundation have a channel on YouTube. I'll post a link to it. They're going to be showing this short film. And this is, they took a trip, basically mountain climbing, I guess it looks like, in Colorado. And so people, men and women with all different form of visible and invisible injuries were part of this. And this is their experience climbing those peaks in Colorado. So very, very powerful, very impacting. They have a trailer. I'll post a link to it so you can watch the trailer as well. So again, like I said, they're doing a lot of things. And on top of that, on the 7th, which is next, I think I want to say next Tuesday, the day before the service of Thanksgiving, and the day after baby Archie's birthday, they have a conversation, the IGF conversation, realizing a global community. And you can purchase tickets. It's free. So that's my ticket. I picked a little picture of my little ticket at the bottom there. And so it's online, so you can just go, and I'm going to post a link. So just in case you didn't see it before, you can. It says the iteration of the IGF conversation will draw on how over the past 10 years since its inception, the IGF has established and will continue to build a global community to support those and their families who have given in service to their countries. This support specifically uses adaptive sports as its core in order to deliver tangible impact, which is capable of remaining relevant in the future. The event will be a look back on where the IGF has come from since the patron, the Duke of Sussex, returned home from the Warrior Games in the US and felt inspired to create the international inaugural Invictus Games in 2014 and what it has achieved up until now. So I don't know if Harry is going to be part of this. I would assume he will be traveling on this day because, again, it's after Archie's birthday, and the next day is going to be the service of Thanksgiving. So I don't know. Maybe he's traveling on that day. Maybe we have no idea what's happening. Maybe they're all going to be in the UK. Who knows? We're all just guessing. But this is, I just assume this is travel day. And again, don't think he'll be part of it. Or maybe he could join in while traveling. That's possible too. We're all mobile, right? So there you go. So who knows? And what else for Invictus? Oh, this was the poll. We talked about this the other. I posted this in our community page. When I posted the first one, it was like 93 to 7 or something like that percent. But still, we are 80. Well, it ended. The final result is 88% of the people, well, from 6,000 votes, 6,367 votes, 88% of the people voted for Washington, D.C., and Birmingham, 12. And so I'm assuming the 12 is the British press and they're crazy royalists, maybe. I mean, why would they want? They don't want Harry and Meghan there. So it's like, well, actually, no, they want them there so that they can, write all kind of nasty stuff. But I Helen was like, I voted DC. Of course you voted DC. If any squatty voted for UK, I'd be like, I am taking your squatty card away from you. Yeah, no. Totally taking that squatty card. But yeah, as you can see, just about I mean, I know the politicians and stuff in like Johnny Mercer, who was the MP that really spearheaded the Birmingham UK thing, and he's also a friend of Harry. He's a veteran and all of that stuff. He really, I mean, apparently they put in a great bid. They already, I guess, raised the $27 million that's needed. And I'm like, yeah, but no, just no. No. And so I'm like, maybe put that into your war. I mean, you guys don't you have those colonial games that nobody wants? Put that in your colonial games and leave Invictus alone. So there. I am Sam. Thank you so much. I am Sam. I am. Thank you so much for your super sticker. I appreciate your generosity. Thank you so much. But yeah, I think the majority of people and everybody I saw into it, I don't honestly. That said, I mean, I have had to block and mute quite a few people, even some among us. And so maybe I just didn't see. But I just, I didn't see anybody rooting for the UK to host the games at all. I hope nobody in the squad did. So yeah. Let's see. What else you guys are saying before we move on? But as you can see, Invictus, they are full celebrating, and there's all the other stuff. I think I saw something else just before I came on. I don't even remember what it is. So the next podcast I will have that, or I'll just put it in our community page. So yeah. Joanne says, one has to question, is Johnny being used as a tool to get IG to the UK? Very likely. He's a conservative MP. He, look, I don't trust any, even so-called friends of Harry. I don't trust any of these people. I do not trust anyone in the British government who has anything to do with none of them. I trust none of them. So yeah. The only thing is, though, because this is 2027, we're all assuming that Joe Biden will be in office, right? But the way he is going, I can't even. He's not making it easy for himself. And so, God forbid, and I'm like, the Lord forbid, this orange person gets back in the office. He'll be in office when this is supposed to happen in 27. And it's going to be, and you know how he feels about Harry and Meghan. And this will take place in Washington, D.C. And you're like, oh, dear Lord. So herein lies the challenge. So for this case, you definitely don't want the orange person there. And you don't want him. I don't even understand why this man is even an option to begin with. Like, I cannot fathom. Never mind. I don't even want to get there. But so, yes. In this case, you're like, okay, yeah, because those are the options that are there right now. You definitely don't want the orange person there in the White House when Invictus is going to take place in DC. So, anyways, moving on from this, it's like, ugh. Talk about DC. we're gonna just jump really quickly to real world stuff, and then I'll come back and get into the chat. Hopefully everybody's been paying attention with what's going on. I mean, we've talked at length here about what's going on in Palestine, what's going on in Israel, and so I gotta just jump on this for really quickly. And I hope everyone has been sort of paying attention, because one of the reasons I've been doing it is because a lot of times here we're like, okay, stuff happens over there, it's so far away, it doesn't affect us. And my thing for talking about it, I know mainstream press does not talk about this a lot, and so I'm like, we got to educate our community what's going on in the world. And so my thing is, what's happening over there is going to happen here. Why? Because the same people that's perpetuating the genocide in Palestine is the same people that are leading our country, whether it's in the US, the UK, Germany, whatever. They are the same people leading us. So they're going to do the same thing there over here. And so a couple of days, was it yesterday? This bill was passed in Congress. It's the HR 690, Antisemitism Awareness Act of 2023. And so this was a bill that was sponsored by Representative Michael Lawler from New York. And it's a bill basically redefining some parts of what anti-Semitism is. Like, if this bill passes the Senate right now, it just passed Congress, so it's then, they probably have it already, it's now then going to go on to the Senate. If it passes there, it's going to go on to the president, and if he signs it, it's going to become law. So it's not law yet, it's just passed Congress. And so this bill passed Congress yesterday, where the majority of Republicans and Democrats, bipartisan support for this bill. And some of what this bill is, ABC News report a little bit about it. It says the bill was led by Rep. Mike Lawler, Republican from New York, and had 15 Democratic sponsors. That's right. Bipartisan support for this bill. Many Republicans and Democrats who voted against the bill said it infringes on free speech. It requires, and part of the bill, it says it requires the Department of Education to use the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance working definition of anti-Semitism when enforcing federal anti-discrimination laws. The working definition says anti-Semitism is in part a certain perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred towards Jews. The definition includes denying Jewish people their right to self-determination by claiming that the state of Israel is a racist state. Drawing comparison of contemporary Israel policy to that of the Nazis. And this is where they're conflating two things. It's like Judaism doesn't equal Israel, but they are sort of lumping it together. So if you say Israel, that their actions right now is like exactly what the Nazis did to the Jews back at the Holocaust, then that could become a crime. You can literally get arrested for that. But that would be exactly the truth, because that is exactly what Israel is doing right now. A lot of their patterns is exactly what the Nazis did. And so people have been pointing it out and showing pictures. There's video evidence, picture evidence, all kinds of evidence that what Israel is doing right now is exactly what the Nazis doing. And this is what he's saying, that if you draw the comparison and claim that Israel is a racist state and it's a Nazi state, which right now it literally is doing, and if you do that, that could become a criminal offense. And below it says, some Jewish students have long warned against conflating anti-Semitism with views critical of Israel's government and blanket portrayals of all protesters as anti-Semitic. Basically, if you are protesting against Israel, all of a sudden it's anti-Semitic. It is not. It is completely not, but this is what they're trying to do. What they're trying to do now is, too many people are speaking out about what Israel is doing. We need to tamp down on that. We want to call it all anti-Semitic and make it all against the law, which is what they're doing. Now, this is the law that they just passed a couple of days yesterday. And so it's very funny because I was looking for it. I was looking up, and you would think that this is broadly announced all over the press, and not a lot of them were really reporting about it. And it's just like, well, are you serious? Shouldn't this be all over the press? Because now, if this law passes and I criticize Benjamin Netanyahu and what he is doing, literally committing genocide in Gaza, that could be a criminal offense. Not only that, this is also in the law. This senator from Kansas City, Senator Roger Marshall, on Thursday, yesterday, this is what he said. Senator Roger Marshall on Thursday claimed a congressional push to combat anti-Semitism violates Christian scripture. A bill that overwhelmingly passed the House by 320 to 91 to 91 votes Wednesday evening would require the Department of Education, Division of Civil Rights, to consider International Holocaust, like we just read, Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism when investigating discrimination claims on campus that receive federal funding. The definition cites claims of Jews killing Jesus is an example of classic anti-Semitism, which sparked opposition from conservative Republicans. Religious leaders back home are very concerned about some of the language in that bill, that it pushes against what the scripture says, Marshall says. Obviously, as a born-again Christian, I believe that the Holy Bible is the Word of God. I think that we're not supposed to alter the Word. So I am just guessing the House overlooked something. Anti-Semitism is wrong, but this legislation is written without regard for the Constitution, common sense, or even the common understanding of the meaning of the words. Representative Florida Rep Matt Gaetz, a Republican, wrote on social media, the gospel itself would meet the definition of anti-Semitism under the terms of this bill. What is very interesting, and even with people I know, is these people none of them it's been 6-7 months now with what this genocide Israel has been committing against Gaza. These people have all been supporting Israel. They have no support for Palestine. They have not cared, nothing. They've all been, they literally just passed, as we said in, I think the last episode or 2 episodes ago, they literally just passed, after all Israel has done, another $29 billion for Israel for arms and all of the stuff that they're doing against Palestine. They have been all on board with funding Israel's genocide. And then the minute, all of a sudden they realize, oh, wait a minute. They're pushing further. Not only are they getting money, now they're trying to change the laws that would affect us. Oh, wait, we're going to stop. Oh, no. Wait. We're going to support you, but only when it doesn't affect us. We don't care what you do to Palestinians. We don't care that you've been, massacred 40,000 of them. We don't care. But all of a sudden they realize, oh, wait a minute, you're saying now I'm a Christian and my beliefs now goes against anti-Semitism. So you want to change it so the minute it affects them, then all of a sudden they want to change things. All of a sudden it's oh, wait, maybe this isn't right. This isn't right after all. And it's the same pattern that I see so many times. You can't, it's I can't stand up for people if it doesn't affect me. And this is what you see here in this whole thing. So yeah, this law that Congress just passed, if you're a Christian and you're reading the Bible, whatever, and the Bible does say that the Jews handed over Jesus to be crucified, if this goes and progresses and the Senate passed, it goes to the president, all that sort of sign, this is going into law. And this part of the scripture will be banned. It's you will not be able to say this legally in America. So part of the Bible will be stripped out. I think it was Benjamin Netanyahu or one of the other people were already starting to suggest that different parts of the Bible need to be changed because in their view, it's anti-Semitic. And so this is why I say with this, it's like so many people think that, oh, Israel will simply stop at what they're doing to Palestine. No, stopping is not in their DNA. They will keep going and taking and taking and taking and taking and taking until someone stops them. They will not stop. It's not in their DNA to say, okay, I've had enough. Let someone live. That is not in their DNA. Everything has to be theirs. And that's how they function. They will take and take and take and take and take. That's just who they are. And so that is the nature of Zionism. And that's what I feel like people still don't get with this. They're not going to stop. And so for me, with this whole thing, it's like, oh, so again, they didn't want to do anything when it was just Palestine suffering the brunt of what Israel has been meting out to them. And all of a sudden, they're seeing that, oh, they can be affected. And all of a sudden, breaks, let's put a stop. Let's think about what we're doing here. And this is, I mean, these are supposedly Christians. These are supposedly. You would think that the so-called Christian right would be the first one to be like, wait a minute. You are massacring people. How is that right? That is not right. You would think that they would be the first to stand up to say, no, you can't be doing that. That is not right. They would be the first to challenge the president and his administration sending money and supporting and funding a genocide. You think they would be the first to stand up and say, no, we will not allow this. They would be the first to support those students who have been protesting it. They have been silent, completely silent. And then all of a sudden they're realizing, oh, wait a minute, this could affect me. So, okay, now I could say something. If it doesn't affect me, I don't care. I don't care how many kids that Israel killed. I don't care. As long as I get mine. And I would only get involved if it affects me. And this is the selfishness that is going to destroy this country. This is the utter selfishness. Because you're not thinking, it's like, if I don't support them, when I'm going through it, who's going to come support me? You know? So it is just, it is so sickening to watch these people who claim to be Christians sit there and watch even Christians in Palestine be massacred and not say one word. Churches in Palestine completely destroyed, not one word. There is not one university left in Palestine because Israel has bombed all of them. None of these people have said one word. And the only opposition is now that the Bible is going to be challenged. And the Bible is all of a sudden, Bible scriptures is going to be there. That is up there. Like they're realizing like, oh my gosh, they want to change the Bible. Oh no, you know what I mean? All of a sudden it's like, oh, well, you know, were you reading the Bible before? When it talks about love your fellow man, stand up and give voice to people, the voiceless. Were you reading those scriptures before? Because obviously you haven't. So it is just, oh yeah. This kind of selfishness is why we will destroy ourselves, because we cannot look beyond our noses to see someone else's needs. We cannot look beyond ourselves to see, you know what? They don't have a voice. I need to stand up and fight for them. Unbelievable. And not only that, what is the, you know, apart from this mess, what else is happening in this vein? This is very fast. This scoop came out yesterday from Axios. It says, Scoop, bipartisan group of senators, U.S. senators that is, held a confidential virtual meeting Wednesday with a senior official at the International Criminal Court to express concerns about possible arrest warrants against Israeli leaders, that is Benjamin Netanyahu and a couple of his leaders. And this is a little bit from the article. It talks about, so they are concerned about possible arrest warrants being issued to Israeli leaders over the war in Gaza, according to 3 sources who were in the meeting or briefed about it. Why it matters. Israeli officials have grown increasingly worried over the last 2 weeks that the ICC, or the International Criminal Court, is preparing to issue arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and Israel Defense Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi. The driving news: the ICC, which is based in The Hague, Netherlands, has been investigating since 2021 possible war crimes by both Israeli forces and Palestinian militants dating back to 2014 Israel-Hamas war. As you can see, this is, 2021, 2014, well beyond, well before, I should say, October 7th. This has been going on way before, as we know, 75 years of conflict between Israel and Palestine. So that happened yesterday, or 2 days ago, whatever. Today, this is what the International Criminal Court put out. It says a statement of the ICC Office of the Prosecutor, and I'm just going to use the other thing where it's a little bit bigger so we can read it. This is what the International Criminal Court of the in The Hague put out today. It says the Office of the Prosecutor is aware that there is significant public interest in its investigations, and it welcomes comments, communications of concerns, and engagement in its activities from state and the elected officials, non-governmental organizations, scholars, and activists. The office seeks to engage constructively with all stakeholders whenever such dialogue is consistent with its mandate under the Rome Statute to act independently and impartially. The independence and impartiality are undermined, however, when individuals threaten to retaliate against the court or against the court personnel should the office, in fulfillment of its mandate, make decisions about investigations or cases falling within its jurisdiction. Such threats, even when not acted upon, may also constitute an offense against the administration of justice under Article 70 of the Rome Statute. That provision explicitly prohibits both retaliation against an official of the court on account of duties performed by that or any official, and impeding, intimidating, or corruptly influencing an official of the court for the purpose of forcing or persuading the official not to perform or to perform improperly his or her duties. The office insists that all attempts to impede, intimidate, or improperly influence its officials cease immediately. Why would the ICC put this out? In the last few days, this thing has been going on all over social media, that they are expecting the ICC to bring charges against Benjamin Netanyahu and his officials. The United States government, senators in the United States have been literally threatening the ICC. They have been, and they're not hiding it. They have been publicly threatening them with sanctions, with retaliations. Israel has been, Benjamin Netanyahu did a whole video about the rest of the world basically need to rise up against the ICC and all of that stuff. This is what our government has been doing against the International Criminal Court, all to protect Benjamin Netanyahu so he could continue his criminal acts. This is the thing. This is why they're trying to tamp down on people speaking out about this, because they can no longer hide their criminal behavior. So if they force people to not speak, then maybe they can get away with their crimes. And now that this whole thing is out in the open, they are literally threatening the ICC. And one of the things they're saying, that if they bring these charges against Israel, that they're going to retaliate against Palestine. I mean, this whole thing is a mess. Will the ICC act? I don't think so. I think they do feel threatened. I would be shocked if they bring charges, which they should if they're doing their jobs. Do I think they will act? No. The ICJ, I expected them by now. They would have said yes, Israel is committing genocide in Palestine. We're still waiting. They've sort of been dancing around the issue and dancing around the issue while people keep dying in Palestine, while Israel keep just bombing Palestine. And they have done really nothing but talk. The UN has passed resolution. They all, they literally passed the ceasefire resolution and Israel has ignored it. The United States claimed that it's non-binding and Israel has gone its merry way and they just keep killing Palestinians. And yeah, it's just, this is where we are. That the International Criminal Court has to put out this today about people intimidating members of the International Criminal Court. I mean, this is where we are as a people. So for those of you who don't like me talking this, we need to know this stuff, because a lot of times you will not see it on your news channels because they just don't want you to know this stuff. And a lot of times, if you're not on social media with, independent news outlets blasting this over, you just would not know. You simply will not know. So, the Impossible says, peddle your warning of what is happening. Israel will soon be here, and it's starting happening. It's already here. It is already here. I mean, we just look at what happened with the protests, of the students' protests. It is already here. The majority of these, especially these police officers, they're IDF trained officers. They've been trained by the Israel Defense Force. I mean, it's already here. We learned today that at Columbia, one of the professors literally has been, I think she's like the counterterrorism professor at Columbia University. We learned today that she has been one of the ones spying on students at Columbia. She also works with an affiliation. I guess she's an affiliate with, a university or something in Israel. And she also works with a department with the NYPD. And it's just like, what? This is a professor at Columbia University where you had all that big ruckus a couple of days ago. It's already here. We just didn't know it was happening. It was all just, again, we were all blinded pretty much. We didn't know this was what was happening. But the genocide in Gaza has exposed all of this stuff that majority of people just did not know. I had no idea all these universities in the US had these affiliations with Israel. I had no idea some of them had affiliations with arms. I mean, I was like, what? And now I'm like, people need to really, if you're thinking of going to college, really look up and see who's affiliated with these colleges that you're sending your kids to and what they would do in the case of a protest where you see a lot of them really called in the police on your kids. And I'm like, what on earth? It's already here. Thank you, Rafaela, for your super sticker. I appreciate it. Thank you. Disorganized crafter says people of color don't matter to them no matter what the nationality. And that is the thing I've been trying to, even people in my life, trying to help them to understand. If they're treating people of color like that in Palestine, it's the same people. That is exactly how they treat you here. For me, I'm looking at this thing is like neither of these people who are up to be president should be in the running to be president at all. We are gone in such a bad direction in this country that it's frightening to look at for me. It is absolutely frightening. So people are like, well, you want them to do Trump? No, neither of these people should be in the running to run this country. You have one that has like so many lawsuits against him that I'm like, I don't even know how you figure out one from the other. I've lost count. And the other is literally funding a genocide, supporting a genocide. Like, these are the choices this country has. This is a sick place to be in. This is an absolute sick place to be in. And if you're a black and brown person, this should concern you more than anybody else. Because again, if they're treating them like that there, this is exactly how they're treating us, would treat us here. And especially if they're elected again for the next 4 years, they don't need your votes. They'll do whatever they want. And so it's like, why are these the choices? Why are these two the choices? Like, I can't, for the life of me, I can't figure it out. Patricia says you can't take anything out of the Bible or add anything to it. Hope so-called Christians know that. Well, will they do anything about that? Because again, a lot of the people who are now like, oh, pulling on the brakes, a lot of them has taken money from AIPAC, which is why I keep talking about AIPAC all the time. If you don't know what AIPAC is one of the most powerful lobbies in Washington. They are the pro-Israel lobby that has literally bought over 300 senators and congresspeople on both sides of the aisle, including the president of the United States, who has taken the most money from AIPAC, between $5 and $7 million from AIPAC. Both the leaders of the Congress and the leader of the Senate, including the minority leaders, they're all bought and paid for by AIPAC. The majority of them are bought Christian, non-Christian, black, white, Asians, Hispanic, they're all across the board. And they're not, AIPAC isn't hiding any of this. This is on their website. You can see the list of them. There is an AIPAC tracker. You can see exactly how much money that each of them has taken from AIPAC. This entire country is bought and paid for. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. It doesn't matter. You're Jewish, Christian, whatever your religion, there literally, I think, are only about 20 of them that are not bought and paid for by AIPAC. And right now, AIPAC is running people against them, and they are putting millions into the people that's running against the Congress people and the senators who has not taken their money. And they proudly boast that they have a 90% win rate for the people that they support on either side to get into office. This is what we're up against. And this is why I keep talking about this so much, because those very Christians who are now barking, so-called, and they're Christians, they are so-called, they're not. The majority of them probably don't even read the Bible. Those that are barking about the scripture now, the majority of them have already taken money from AIPAC. So this is the predicament we're in. And this is why we need to talk about it, because I know the majority of times you listen to the radio, or your TV, or wherever you're getting your news, they're not talking about this stuff, and they need to talk about it so people are aware. So when you go vote, you understand who you're voting for. You understand, and whether you vote for them or not, at least you do it out of knowledge about what they do. Even some of my favorite ones, the ones that I was like, oh, this person is in office, whatever, they're all bought and paid for. Hakeem Jeffries, Cory Booker, all of them, Raphael Warnock, every single one of them, bought and paid for by AIPAC. All the ones we were rooting for, at least I was rooting for, every single one of them, bought and paid for. And the ones that are not, like, AOC, she has her issues, or some of the others from, what is that group of, I guess, the liberals that people always attack? They did not take money, like Rashida Tlaib and all of those, Ilhan Oman, did not take money from AIPAC. So AIPAC is going after them with everything they have. That's where we are. So it's we are in a predicament right now. A lot of prayers. And yes, right, it's like they can't take any. Yes, they can. What they may not be able to take it out of it, but they can. If this passes into law, if you were to go and say that, you can go to jail, because again, it will be considered anti-Semitic, which is and then again, there's a law in place that prevents you from saying. And if you are saying, you can go to jail, you can get arrested or whatever for saying stuff like that, for quoting Bible scripture. So this is where we are. So we have to be awake. We have to know what is happening and know what is going on, because again, a lot of these things, they don't talk about it, and all of a sudden we hear that there's a law in place and we never heard anything about it. So we didn't call our congressman, we couldn't fight, we couldn't do anything because we just didn't know. So I'm telling you so that none of us could say we didn't know. If you don't know, go look at the bill, go see what it says in there, and call your Congress people if you don't agree with it. That's all I'm saying. That's why I put this out there so that we know it's there, so we can, then make our decisions based on knowledge instead of just not, ignorance. So yeah. Anyways, moving on. Better news, ending on better news. My peeps, which I've been wondering, is like, where is Trinidad and Tobago? Why aren't they speaking? And yesterday, wonderful news. I'm so happy to see this. That says recognition by Trinidad and Tobago of the state of Palestine. So I was very much happy to see this. My people are there and they're speaking. The government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago has taken the decision at its meeting of the cabinet today to formally recognize the state of Palestine. As recommended by the Minister of the Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Cabinet, has determined that the formal recognition of Palestine by the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago will assist in the achievement of a lasting peace, which is what everybody wants. We just want peace, by strengthening the growing international consensus on the issue of Palestine statehood. Trinidad and Tobago has a long history of principled support for the rights of the Palestinian people to self-determination. The government's consistent position is that a two-state solution is the only way out of the ongoing cycle of violence. This is our consistent foreign policy position, which is founded on Trinidad and Tobago's respect for and adherence to international law and to the principles of the Charter of the United Nations. So, thank you. I am very excited, really, very, very well excited. I think a couple of episodes ago, we saw Jamaica and Barbados recognize Palestine. So I am just so thrilled that my country has stepped up and have recognized these people who, God, how many years has this been going on? We just want peace. We just want peace. So anyways, that's all I got. I'm just going to stay in the chat for a little bit, see what you guys are saying before we wrap up. I know that was a lot. So yeah. Yes, TMCD. Yes, they recognize Palestine as well. They mentioned that a couple of episodes ago. Jamaica and Barbados did. So very exciting. I know Colombia, I think it's today that they're cutting all diplomatic ties with Israel as well. And again, with this whole thing is, we just want peace. We are tired. We are tired of the war. We just want peace. So, this organized crafter says we need a new party that doesn't answer to any of these peoples or dictators. Hello, like Sony, this whole system is broken. It is broken, and it's just every election is the same thing. It's kind of like, well, we're gonna take the best of the two worst options, and it's just like, at what point are we gonna be like, no, we want people who actually care about this country, that are not paid by a foreign person, and people who actually are gonna do stuff for this country. And it's just like, I don't understand when we're gonna stop with this nonsense. These two parties that it's irretrievably broken, and somebody's gonna have to say, no, we're gonna stop this nonsense, because this isn't getting anybody anywhere. So Cynthia says, Petal, there's nothing new under the sun. All of this has already been done. I know, right? I know. There's nothing new, but we can make changes. There's nothing wrong. Doesn't mean we can't change things. Just because people have been doing the same thing for years and years and years doesn't mean we can't change. And that's why I'm happy about this new generation coming up, that, should they keep their fire, things can change. So yeah. They need to make laws. Disorganized crafter. I think you're it for the day. They need to make a law about taking money from people like that. Hello. I mean, how long have they been talking about these lobby groups? And I mean, there should, and that's a thing, because the same people who are bought and paid for by Israel have been screaming at others for doing the same thing with Russia, and it becomes Russia, Russia, Russia. But I'm like, whoa, aren't you doing the same thing though? They are bought and paid for by Russia, but you're doing the same thing because you're bought and paid for by Israel. Both are foreign governments. None of you should be taking money from foreign governments to influence, and not only taking money, but influencing laws and making laws. This law was part of AIPAC's law that they just passed. This is very much influenced by AIPAC that they just passed in Congress a day ago. And so, I mean, and who does AIPAC work for? A foreign government. None of this should have influence in American government. I mean, this is craziness. This is absolute craziness. Let's see. Cynthia says, hi, Petal. Not all who say Lord, Lord means it. I know one day God is going to put a stop to this chaos. Hope in Christ alone, who is King of Kings, Lord of Lords. He alone is our hope. Very, very true. But Cynthia, it behooves all of us when we see stuff like this to stand up and make changes. And you think of, say the civil rights movement and all of those things. We could be, they could have stood up and says, okay, well, it's all in God's hands. You're going to wait, whatever, and not do anything. But they had the faith in God and what God, but they also still got out there and protested. They still marched. They still were thrown in jail and beaten and killed and all of those things, fighting for the rights that we enjoy today, a lot of which has been taken away because of what's going on in Palestine. And so, yeah. So we have to still fight for the rights. We can't just, we still have to call the senators. We still have to get out there and protest. We still have to do all the things within our means to make sure that, a next generation, we're not back there, God forbid, picking cotton or something, So yeah, we have to fight to advance, hold on to our faith and use that to help us to fight to advance. So let's see. Disorganized crafter, I think I'm dropping on news, but you make great points. They are scrambling now that French African countries are turning to China and Russia. Very much colonized. They are allowing their countries to get colonized. I saw a horrible video of this Chinese manager beating these African kids who work at whatever business he has. It is horrendous. Don't know which one of the African countries this in, but they are completely being colonized. And for the life of me, I don't understand why they allow it to happen. But they have allowed it to happen and are allowing it to happen. Tony Racer says, why do we care for another country more than ours? That is the $1 million question, Tony. That is the $1 million question that has everyone scratching our heads. That Americans literally selling out their country for a foreign country. And then when you talk about it, then they want to institute laws to stop you from talking about it. And it's just like, and not only that, they're doing that, they're lying and lying and lying. And they have a complicit media who is literally behaving like a royal rota at this moment. It is unbelievable. Rosa M says in Africa, they call it corruption. In the USA, they call it lobby. Oh, very true. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Tony says, I am tired of all this. Joe is a disappointment. I'm telling you, I feel punch in the gut because we were celebrating so much and so happy when he won. So happy. Oh my goodness. There was like people were dancing in the streets. I was just like, thank you, God. I felt like a savior after 4 awful years under that orange person. It's amazing that the picture on the screen right now is orange, but orange person, the horror of that, it was like, and then here we are. You never know what people would do. You just never know what people would do. Mrs. S says, thank you, Barbados. I know. Thank you, Barbados, for recognizing Palestine. I'm telling you, until Palestine is free, not one of us will be free. This mess it's this tiny little strip, this tiny little island, and especially, say, the Gaza Strip, the implications throughout the world is astounding. And the things that we're learning that our governments have been involved in when it comes to that has been astounding. It just, the effects of it just reverberates throughout the world. It's unbelievable. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Oh my goodness, Nash, thank you so much. Says, I love how passionate you are about reporting the truth. Thank you for all you do. Oh, I try. Thank you so much, Nash. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hate being lied to, so there you go. Sorry. Let's see. Belize and JB says, because I'll pick Biden over Trump. Of course. I mean, it's just, my thing would be neither, but if you had to choose, but it's a horrible choice no matter what you do. And so that for me is where the issue is, more than between both of them, is we need people who are away from this whole mess, whether it's Republican or Democrat, they're both a mess. They're both irretrievably broken. We need a new system. That's where I am with this. So yeah. Oh, the Impossible says, congratulations, Polo. Trinidad and Tobago recognized Palestine as a way waiting for my Grenada government to do likewise. Hey, write in to whether it's the UN or wherever, the Grenada ambassadors, and find out, advocate. They want to hear from people, and they want, it'd be great to hear from us. Like, look, we're advocating for that. And so, yeah. Let's see. Mrs. S concur with Belize. She says, President Biden is doing what every presidents do, bowing to Israel, but I will still choose him over that orange nightmare. Yeah, that orange nightmare was a nightmare nobody wants to repeat. It just was an absolute nightmare. But I mean, for me, I don't see much of a difference. They're one in the same, because of now seeing the policies that they're I wouldn't, a couple years ago, 3 years, I would have never thought we would be in this place ever. This was definitely not in my cards. I totally didn't see us here, but here we are. So yeah. Let's see a few more before we end. And again, away from this a bit, I am going to again put in our community page a bunch of links for Invictus. So definitely go ahead and check them out. And if you're a part of the 2 Cent Screw, just so you know that I post stuff in there just for the 2 Cent Screw in our community page. So just when you click onto our channel, just scroll at the top, you see where it says community. If you have not checked out there are photos and stuff that I post there. So definitely check it out for all of our 2 Cent Screw members. So yeah. Oh, Naughty Doctor is here. I didn't even see her. Hey, Naughty Doctor, how are you? I don't even see you where you are in the chat. So I'm just seeing hello, Naughty Doctor. And I was just like, oh, I didn't see you. Yeah, V Thomas is here too. Hello, V. Let's see. Oh, Naughty Doctor, here we go. It says Israel will rebuild Gaza. Israel will they will rebuild it, but for who? That is the question, isn't it? Because I don't think Benjamin Netanyahu has Palestinians in mind for Gaza. So not from especially his latest videos. Yeah, no, he will rebuild it, and he should be, no matter what. But yeah, I don't think it's in his mind, it's not for Palestinians. So there's even a report that they are, again, the United States, trying to work out a plan where to offer Palestinians visas for the United States. That's right. Ethnically cleansing them out of Palestine and bringing them to the United States so to give Israel a free pass to take Palestine. It's just, yeah, whether that's true or not, that's the report. We'll see what I'm like, okay. That's just like, yeah. Lady P just says, Pedal, there are a lot of atrocities happening in Africa. Yes. 2014, over 200 girls were kidnapped. Some still are not returned in Nigeria. Yeah, Boko Haram. Yep. I don't hear a word say anything about it. You know what? Yeah, one of the things that I want to do is cover more of it. This has been more on my mind. I have to be honest, the Palestine issue. One, because I could see just the relation and how it's coming here. And so I too have not been as focused on it, and I need to be. So please, yeah, shortly I'll be talking a lot more about especially what's going on in the Congo and all of those things. So yes, the news about what's going on in different African countries has been sparse compared to what is going on in Gaza. So yeah, you're absolutely true. And one of the people we just featured, Peacemaker was in the military. He's only 24 years old, and he was part of fighting against Boko Haram, who kidnapped those girls. And he lost his leg, and so we just featured did a spotlight on him on this channel. So yeah, you can check that out as well. But you're right. We do need to focus more on what is going on in the continent of Africa. And especially we're talking about colonizing Africa with Russia and China. Oi! V. Thomas says the continent of Africa is always at the bottom of any crisis. Yes, very true. Very, very true. So yeah. Let's see. A couple more before we end. Belize and JP says, it's basically Israel over us black folks. I feel for Palestine, but let's be honest, they really don't care about us black folks. Very, very true. And I think, I'm reading this book I think it's called 100 Years of War Between Israel and Palestine, or at least listening to it. I'm doing Audible. And just so I can even get more about just the history that's gone on, again, 75 years of history. And so my goal is to understand so much more what's going on there, and also so much more about the different conflicts and wars in Africa, in between African countries, whether it's Rwanda and all of those things. So just from my own knowledge, I'm trying to understand and learn so much more about just the history of these things. So again, to speak from knowledge. So yeah, but I think that's it. Let's see, anything else we got to say? I think that's all I have to say on this. Yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I know it's a lot. I know it's been a lot. We started with our faves being amazing, and then we end with, real life stuff. Again, real life stuff is here, and we can't not talk about it. So thank you so much to Lydia Church Nelly, Karen M, Cookies and Cream, Black Queen. You are awesome. Missing you, Lydia, wherever you are. I know she's working today. So anyways, thank you guys so much. Thank you to our awesome 2 Cents crew who support the channel on a monthly basis, and to all of you who support in the chat and PayPal, Cash App, if you support there too. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. And whatever you're all doing today, have a fantastic, fantastic day, and I will chat with you later. Bye.